take. However, if it was an Akali there, maybe it feels a little bit too haphazard. Maybe the team fight isn't as powerful as BLG want.
Yeah, it could be a little bit more difficult. My kind of thought process is maybe they think top lane's just going to be a battleground because they went for that early Lee Sin, because they have the Ambessa they want to protect. The Sun is enough, and Kanavi's looking for a level 3 top.
Yeah, he's already here. Zeus is going to dive in. Is Bin too far up? Will he have to flash? That is going to be the question here as the Warthog comes on over. The Tempest Cripple will come down here from Kanavi. As the flash forward from Zeus, they want this first blood. It is the Ravenous. Oh, the Ruthless Predator comes through, and that is going to be first blood over to Kanavi here, coming out of the jungle, and HLE off to a much better start already, because Gen.G and T1 really just have had a monopoly over these international tournaments outside of the weird DRX blip and the Dom1 era.
I mean, they really have, and it's very cool to see Zeus and Gumayusi establishing themselves now on HLE. Obviously, tremendous success with T1, but weren't able to actually win that MSI, and now here on HLE with an opportunity to win a tournament that they weren't able to on T1.
The OPL, right? We didn't do a lot of winning at all.
I've stayed in the LCS.
That was the place to be initially, though, and I'm glad that we've got League Classic to see, you know, incredible plays like Doublelift being able to completely smurf it here on the stage once again.
Back to our prime, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Back to the good old days, right, Kobe?
The good old days are now, buddy. We just won 5 games against HLE.
Damn right.
The present really isn't that bad. Large brick at the end of the road was definitely a heavy one.
That is a tough one to remove.
It's also kind of interesting, you know, talking about Viper, you know, in his road a little bit. Oh, Kanavi maybe going to look here.
Yeah, Bin is going to look to get himself out of the way. Public Execution is going to pick up the Crocodile. Dominus is running, but there is the kick back. The flash out, though. Zeus follows him up, and Kanavi gets another.
Well, assists for Zeus have kept them basically dead even in gold in this matchup where Zeus will outscale and, in theory, should be more valuable in the 5v5s.
Not to mention the fact that Shin is getting less and less valuable, right? Like being these more damage-focused junglers can make things difficult, but he is up towards his top side of the map, and he's got friends, as you say, Kobe. Let's see whether Zeus can survive this one. Doesn't have the public execution, but he doesn't want this to be public. That is going to be the first kill for BLG, and it goes to 9.
Guma and Kanavi super accelerated to use that bot pressure to get the early dragons. It's an infernal soul that will be available this game, and they would love to continue stacking.
Oh, Kanavi has found his old friend here as Knight blast cones his way up. There's the resonating strike to follow from the Lee Sin. Kicks him into the wall, and he'll just find the kill. Zeka grabs an assist with a command protect, but that was all Kanavi.
Everything done so well from Kanavi there. You know, dashed out of the gravity field, lands the Q, autos the Gromp to get his energy back, takes it over the wall after the blast cone.
Gumayusi gonna have to get out of the way of Shin here. We'll see whether that flash is going to be enough here as they turn it. He's on a trap, and Shin is able to flip his way up, but Kanavi is going to get there, and it's actually Zeka that locks up the kill. Turret goes down in the bottom lane, but HLE are off to the races in mid.
They absolutely are. They're going to go for the Herald Q as well, with already so much damage dealt to these towers from this Caitlyn, but they don't want to give this up. They're actually TPing back in. They do have double TP available. Bin not coming just yet. Knight is there, though.
Yeah, Kanavi going to see whether he can get this smite down. Is going to be able to land it there as the gravity well has been able to hold him in somewhat position. Safeguard gets him over the wall. Tempered Fate holds him in place, but he's got the ball. It's actually going to be the Death Ray that does it from Knight, so they do manage to get that shutdown. Kanavi's still incredibly far ahead.
Got the shutdown there. I believe from the kill call out.
Oh, Kanavi is a little bit upset about that last death, and he is just going to come out of a replay and absolutely destroy Shun. Now Shelly's getting to work in this outer turret, and this snowball is starting to roll. Still only about 1,000 gold, given the fact that that tower fell down towards the bottom side. Doesn't look too perturbed.
Zeka's rotating over as well as the bottom lane, so Bin's going to have some visitors soon.
Yeah, the orb is now on him. Shockwave picks up the Crocodile. He doesn't really know who he wants to fight, and the answer is there's no good choice. He is going to be taken down here once again in the top lane.
HLE have set the pace for this game all game long.
3, 4, 5, you know, it just kind of goes up and to the right. Caitlyn becomes such a beast in the later stages.
Well, there are 2 more beasts on the map right now.
Between these 2 junglers, a lot of it is, you know, we saw On and how he was able to get out on the map. This time it was hard because Guma and Delight were perma pushing on bot side. It allowed them to stack dragons, put that pressure on.
Oh, Zeka finds the Shockwave, tries the dash cannon out of the Tempered Fate, but he is held into position. Cosmic Binding doesn't quite do it, but there's the Arcane Storm, and the shutdown goes over to Viper yet again. Bin now trying to get on top of Kanavi, who does get himself out of the way.
Out in the mid lane, he's going to get the rest of that turret too.
Hang on. Okay, well, can BLG actually find something out of this? As Shin looking for an angle here, doesn't get the Darkened Daggers in. As Zeus trying to soften them up as they go for the dive. The Arcane Storm goes down yet again. Public Execution comes in as Shin in maybe a little bit of trouble, but they haven't been able to lock down the kills just yet. True Shot Barrage comes in, and Viper locks down 2. Knight grabbing kill credit as Zeka will finally come back from the Death Chamber and grabs the shutdown onto Bin. Now he's dashing forward, looking for Shin, and Gummer is looking to just maybe win the game. You were talking about PvE, yeah, he's forgotten that there are other people on the map.
On the Baron.
They are. It's down to 50% health so far. On just playing some defense here as Delight trying to get some vision down, but he is spotted. They know exactly what's going on, but can they do anything about it? The answer is absolutely not. And HLE's gold lead is starting to dwindle now, and it might be even more at risk. Side him. We're still waiting for Knight to make his way over, and HLE have started off this Drake. Zeus now slips off into the fog of war, and there's the trap line. Bin gonna have to try and break it open, but he's taking so much damage. It's gonna be Viper that takes it! He's taken everything so far this game as Bin goes in, looks for the angle. Zeus does the same thing, though. Public Execution, and they take down Viper! Their former AD carry now lying on the floor. Shun going untargetable, and they do get rid of Zeus. Now Kanavi gets the kickback onto Shun, and now he is in amongst it. And HLE wipe them off the rift. It's a triple for Guma.
That is massive. And remember, the mid lane is so softened up, so Knight actually has to try to clear out these waves as fast as he can. And Viper, who had been running this game and having a great tournament, just gets deleted, and it flips the fight on its head.
Bit of a flank angle here potentially for Bin as the net gets Gumayusi out of the Tempered Fate. See where this Crocodile is lurking, though. That's the question. Is Public Execution gets Zeus into the backline again. Bin might be too late this time, but Viper does create some distance and takes down Zeus. Gumayusi pushed out of the fight, though, as Bin is massive, looking for the angle, but Kanavi's another carry, and he's just wiping them out where they stand. Bin flashes in. He'll find the Culver Meek to take out the Caitlyn, but the rest of his teammates are dead.
Dude, they nerfed their best ult to make it harder to hit on people. You can nerf the champ, but you can't nerf the players.
Looking for an angle towards that Dragon Pit. And BLG should be able to get over here, but there is the Q landing. Kanavi obviously is going in. Zeus holds the Dragon aggro. And as we can see, that Dragon's so incredibly low, it's stolen by Shun. He just bounces in immediately to try and take it down, and then gets the cooldown back, and he's over once more.
And then they get the inside route here. It's a really good rotation from HLE. They draw you out of your base, so now your inhibitor is defenseless. They just pull off the Baron and then go take it. Really nicely done from them, because they know that BLG are going to have to take the safe route over to approach that Baron from the top side.
But with this game slowing down, like you guys were talking about, it's giving time for Knight to get more and more damage. And HLE, I think, are going to have to try and find an angle for a battle here. 8 seconds on the Dragon. There's a teleport in from Zeus, looking for an angle towards Knight as Kanavi doesn't get the Q. That's a blast cone, though, as Public Execution is not going to land this time. Knight takes the ace in the hole, though, and there's the Q from Kanavi. Knight going to get pushed away, but the stun comes in from the Gravity Well, and Knight will survive. BLG now just trying to rush down this Dragon, and it is going to be secured. Both teams now with 3 Dragons to grab themselves a Baron.
What do you do about this Caitlyn that does so much damage? Guma now on the Baron currently, and Bin looking, but they can't get in. Zeka zoning them here. The Orianna doing so much.
She didn't even need to use the Shockwave in order to do all of that damage with the Command Attack Dissonance combo. So the Baron will be taken here by HLE.
Loading with the ball, with Caitlyn pushing forward. But there is also powerful wave clear on the other side with Knight. So, you know, Bin is going mid, trying to push this out before they Baron buff up those super minions. And
yeah, Bin looking to make his way in level 19 on the Crocodile. Zeus could be in so much trouble. The ulti comes down, he flashes, but it's Shun that locks it up. And now the Tempered Fate going to be avoided here, but the net's now on cooldown. Gumayusi in so much trouble. Bin gets on top of him. Zeka's taken out as well, as they do kill on, but they don't really care about it. Now Gumayusi, he's going to have to be the one to make this one work. Gets the flash to get out, and he's taken down. Delight is now trying to keep them at bay, but he is just a support with only a hope and a prayer, and at least BLG can't get a Baron or a Dragon because they're not on the map anymore.
They make the collapse just when then they need it to crush the siege of HLE.
And it was such a good team play because it was set up earlier by Viper getting poke onto Zeus, who was on that side. Viper was playing the angle so intelligently, not just playing from the base, playing on the side, landing Q after Q, getting poked down time and time again, softening up some of these members. That gold lead for Kanavi feeling like it means less and less.
I mean, Bin has been the lone gold lead on his team for the majority of this game.
Yeah.
And we'll see if BLG can utilize it for the next Dragon Soul fight. If BLG end up getting Dragon Soul in this game, it's actually going to be crazy.
And now the pressure feels like it is on HLE. This Dragon means soul for either side, but
Oh, the shockwave doesn't actually connect, but there's a kick flash into the public execution. Viper should be taken out. It takes a little bit of time. Kanavi's traded, but he's just holding them in position. As Knight flashes over the wall, Bin just wasn't there. He finally shows up, but the party's over.
Yeah, he wasn't there because Kanavi started the party. He hosted the party in mid lane. He saw Viper. He went before BLG can react. HLE, they take the fight to them.
But the question is, can they even get the Dragon? Because they have no jungler. Shun is still alive here, and they're going to try to fight this.
A little bit early into the pit here. Shun is not alive anymore. Bin is now going to get himself in there. Slicing and dicing. Gumayusi trying to get these autos down. And there's the GA procced from the Renekton. Zeus and Zeka still with a lot of damage available, and Bin not with a whole lot when he makes his way back. Gets the stun, but then gets taken down by this Orianna. And Knight just going to have to get out of there as HLE will finally get a soul.
That trap from Guma was game-changing. He had traps along the edge of the wall, predicting where Shun would go over. And it looked to me like Shun just hopped straight into one of those traps.
HLE just fishing
This
for
is in the
angles.
base.
And yeah, they're looking to take another inhibitor. Remember, there is only a naked inhibitor in the mid lane. They could take all three while HLE also takes the Baron.
BLG are sending 3 for Zeus. They're going to lose the Baron. They have to get this kill.
Well, can they actually do it as the public execution gets Zeus in there? He is likely to fall down, but they take the Baron as a response, and now BLG need to buy as much time as they can.
The inhibitors are exposed, and HLE want to come abuse that fact. BLG with the extra person here, gonna try and defend. Bin coming over. As you said, his job last time, all he had to do was flank, kill multiple people, and burn Guma's summoner spells, and then flash on him and kill him as well.
They're not allowing them that luxury of waiting for the GA.
Zeus is gonna have his teleport when he revives.
Every auto attack from Gumayusi is hurting so much. Has now been on that flank angle once again. Guma playing so far up as Bin gets in there. Guma gets a huge shield. The flash is flashed by Gumayusi. Now Shun's in trouble, and maybe that man advantage doesn't mean too much at all. As Guma is just finding headshot after headshot. Knight now getting involved as they get him down to the GA. Kanavi's still at full health. Wants to take down this Ezreal. The net to get Guma out.
Viper!
But he's popped like a balloon. Kanavi trying to bounce around the fight, needs another cooldown as Viper tries to find the Q and doesn't quite get there. Zeka puts him down, and now Knight is running away from the battlefield because Zeus has teleported in, and he will not connect that public execution, but Knight is not there to defend the base. The Nexus is exposed, and HLE will not let the past repeat itself. They take down BLG in game 1.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.